breathe in this thing. And it's gonna be our new normal. Oh my word, how am I gonna survive a 2-hour flight wearing that? Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. It's me, Andy, and we're back with another car video for some reason. This is how we're filming in lockdown, guys. I hope you can bear with me. So today's video is about the 10 ways that air travel is about to change for us in South Africa. It's gonna be a little different from what you're used to, I must say. Right now that we're still in level 3, we're not even allowed to travel just for the sake of traveling. It's only for business reasons. So unless your company is sending you somewhere for business reasons and you have that in writing, you're not getting on a plane. I'm confident that the aviation industry and just flying in general is gonna be safer than it ever has been because of this. You know, if anything, I feel like aviation is resilient and strong and stubborn, so there's no way we're gonna let something like this beat us. Instead, we're going to adapt. So these are the 10 ways that air travel is gonna be different in South Africa at level 3 of the lockdown. Firstly, you will not be allowed into the airport without one of these babies. Masks are mandatory in South Africa in general. If you leave your house and you go into any public space, you have to be wearing a mask. So that's not going to be any different going into an airport. If you're not wearing a mask, you will not be allowed to enter the airport terminal. So that includes crew, people that work at the airport, and passengers. Another thing that's going to be different is that there will be temperature checks done at every entrance of every airport that you go to from now on. The same as it's been if you've been going into certain stores and malls and stuff, it's going to be the same at the airport. My only worry and my only concern with this is that the Minister of Transport did not actually state what would happen if your temperature is too high. If you do have a fever, are they still going to let you onto the plane and into the terminal? Or are they going to say that you first need to go to the clinic? Are they going to turn you away at the door? I'm not sure about that. So that's the only thing of concern to me as a crew member working on that aircraft. If somebody who has a 45°C fever is allowed to come onto my plane and the airport people knew and they took their temperature and they saw that the person's temperature is high and they still let them continue, that's where I feel like we need to have a specific plan of action there, because what's the point of taking people's temperatures if you're just going to let everyone in the airport anyway? Because I feel like at the end of the day, it's not only about protecting yourself. You might not feel very sick when you actually have a 42° fever, let's say, but you could pass it on to everyone else that you're going to sit next to in the aircraft and people you pass inside the airport and the check-in agent, you know? So you just want to be thoughtful about stuff like that. So I'm hoping that if people do have high temperatures and stuff, that they will actually have a set plan of action on what to do in that event. So the next thing is that it is only going to be the passengers allowed into the terminal building from now on. If you are a passenger and somebody is driving you to the airport, they will no longer be allowed to walk you into the airport. They will have to leave you at the drop-off area. Basically, it is only the people that are getting on a plane that are going to be allowed into the airport from now on. Also, prepare for hand sanitizers to be everywhere. This is something that already was common before the lockdown, but just don't expect for hand sanitizers to disappear anytime soon. Expect for hand sanitizers to be everywhere, all over the airport, every entrance, at the boarding gates, before you get on the plane. There's probably going to be hand sanitizers everywhere, guys. I still highly suggest that you try to wash your hands instead as much as possible. Don't forget, with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, and use the hand sanitizer as a plan B. We all know the most effective way to fight COVID and to make sure you avoid getting the virus on your hands is to wash your hands with soap and water, but obviously if you don't have access to that, then use the hand sanitizer. Number 5, You will probably notice a lot of social distancing inside the airport from now on. There will be social distancing posters everywhere reminding you to keep at least 1.5 to 2 meters distance from the people around you. The social distancing markers on the floor where you stand in the queue to get to the check-in or to drop your bag off or something like that. There will most definitely be social distancing markers everywhere. Before I continue, I want to ask you guys a real quick question. What would an airline have to do in order to make you as a passenger feel comfortable enough to travel by plane with all that's going on right now? What is it that they would have to do to make you feel comfortable? I'm just curious to know from you guys, so please leave that in the comment section. Let's get to have a discussion about that. Number 6, prepare for boarding to be extra slow for the time being. I think it's going to be very staggered. They are going to try to keep social distancing even during the boarding process, because if you think about it, usually you all end up in a queue right outside the door of the aircraft in real close proximity of one another. So I think from now on they're going to try to avoid that. They're probably going to board 5 rows at a time, 10 rows at a time, just to make sure that everyone keeps a bit of distance between each other, and so that people aren't walking up and down trying to get past each other in the aisle during boarding, you know, stuff like that. So maybe they're going to start boarding from the back and then move their way forward or something like that. I'm not too sure exactly about the procedures, but I know that they're definitely going to be boarding much slower and in staggers, so in little sections, just to make sure that people keep that distance. The next thing you can expect from travel at level 3 is that there will be no service from now on. So don't expect the cabin crew to come through the cabin offering you something to drink, something to eat, because they are literally not even going to load our trolleys or our galleys with catering at all. They are trying to limit the amount of contact as much as possible. Don't expect any service. Don't expect that you'll be able to buy yourself a sandwich on board, because that will not be available at all until further notice. So with that said, I do suggest you pack yourself a lunch. Maybe if you know that you're going to be traveling during a time that you usually would prefer to be eating, then maybe pack yourself a sandwich and something to drink, something you can grab on the way. I'm sure you can go past a McDonald's, grab yourself a quick coffee and a McMuffin or something like that, just so you have something to hold you over until you land and you get to where you're going. By the way, all of these rules are mandated by the government. You guys, I don't want you to think that there's a specific airline saying that this is what we're going to do. It is the regulations given to us by the government, by the Minister of Transport, and as of now, the airlines are just following what they're being told. They're following suit. We are being told that we cannot do a service on board, so that is what is going to happen. Number 8, and this is something I have never actually offered in my career as a flight attendant. I've never worked for an airline that hands out blankets or pillows or something. But in case you're wondering, or in case that's something you're used to, airlines will no longer be offering blankets and pillows and all those little amenities on board the aircraft during flights, especially at level 3. I always suggest that you bring your own jacket and your own neck pillow in case you know you want to nap, or in case you know you might get cold. Just bring yourself a jacket so that you're not sitting there freezing and the crew aren't even able to offer you anything to help. So number 9, it is important to note that the aircraft are going to be getting sanitized and disinfected between every single flight and at the end of every single flying day. The deep cleaning process is something that the airlines are going to take very, very seriously, and they're going to be on top of that. So don't even worry about stuff like that. But I do suggest that if you're a little OCD like me, to bring your own little disinfectant wipes or your own little hand sanitizer and just wipe down your own seat area, just so that you can have your own peace of mind. Because I am like that. Even before the lockdown, I would physically see the cleaners sanitizing my jump seat. But until I had taken one of my little alcohol wipes and wiped down the little headrest and my seatbelt buckles and everything like that on my jump seat, I would not feel comfortable until I had done it myself. If anybody else is like me, maybe that'll give you peace of mind. I got little wipes. Oh, I don't have any in my car. No, I do. So I got these little Dettol sanitizing wipes from Spa for like 15 Rand each. So I just bring those with me for every flight, take one of them, wipe down my seat area, and I feel much more comfortable. So if you want to get yourself one of these, I highly suggest it. It'll, just in case you need that extra peace of mind, you know? something I thought would change about air travel that didn't is that the government is allowing aircraft to run at full capacity. I honestly, as a flight attendant, as someone in aviation, and somebody that's been paying attention to everything with COVID and seeing how airlines overseas are handling everything, I honestly expected that our middle seats would be blocked off and that we would not be allowed to go at full capacity. But obviously aircraft have HEPA filters. I didn't expect that the government would say we can still run at full capacity, so that took me by surprise, and I just wanted to highlight that. Even though it's not something that's changing, it's something that I think a lot of passengers would expect, for maybe the middle seats to all be blocked off and to be able to sit quite a far distance away from other people. But unfortunately the government has said we can run at full capacity, and right now, as soon as the airlines go back to operating, they're going to be trying to play catch up. They're going to be trying to make as much money back as they can. So if they have a flight that's fully booked, it's going to be fully booked. They're going to take every passenger that shows up. They're not going to turn some people away because one person feels uncomfortable that somebody is sitting right next to them. And that's something that I know as a flight attendant I'm gonna have to deal with once I get back to work. I am sure that passengers are going to be uncomfortable with having people right next to them, especially if it's a stranger or something. I think families will be okay with it if everybody is traveling together, but I'm sure that if you're sitting there right next to a complete stranger, it might make you a little bit uncomfortable with everything going on right now. But I just wanted to highlight this right now to let you guys know that it is not the airline's choice to do that. It is what the government has said to do. So I'm pretty sure that airlines can choose to still block off the middle seats if they want to, but at this point no airline has actually stated whether they will or not. At this point we're just going to see what happens, but I just wanted you guys to know so I wouldn't worry too much about having to sit next to somebody. I think we're all just a little freaked out by everything that's going on, and social distancing has been such a big part of avoiding catching this virus that I'm sure everyone is going to be like, wait, what? Now I have to sit right next to someone? That's bizarre. To be honest though, I don't think flights are going to be very full as soon as we get back. I think it's going to take a few months before people start feeling comfortable enough to be back on an aircraft next to complete strangers for 2 hours or however long your flight is. And yeah, that's also why I asked you guys that question about what would airlines have to do in order for you to feel comfortable enough to travel. I hope you guys have commented that down below. I really would like to start a discussion with that because I am very, very curious to know what you guys think. But that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that this is a little impromptu, very casual little filming of my video, but I hope that it helps you guys. From your favorite South African flight attendant. I'm just gonna call myself your favorite South African flight attendant. I wish you guys an absolutely amazing day. I hope that I see you guys in the sky very, very soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to spread good vibes and be kind, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.